In early July this year, 2013, I was fortunate enough to make it to the Nintendo World Store in Rockefeller Plaza, New York. I'd wanted to go since I first heard about it years ago, and I finally got the chance this year. Here, you're looking at a shot of some idiot standing outside the main entrance. Here's the same idiot paying homage. And here's one more exterior shot. As you might expect, Nintendo World is a store of all things Nintendo. That said, it's a store of all recent things Nintendo, but I'll get into that later. The first floor, as you can see by the video footage, is primarily dedicated to Pokemon, 3DS, and of course, merchandise. There are also several gaming stations for the Wii and 3DS. While I don't have any footage of it, the upper level is also dedicated to merchandise, but focuses more on the Wii U as it has several gaming stations demoing current titles. Both floors have retail areas for games and accessories for current systems, 3DS on the ground level and Wii U on the upper level. What's neat about the upper level is that there are museum-like display cases featuring eras from Nintendo's past. At the top of this first case, you can see the Hanafuda playing cards, which were one of Nintendo's first forays as a toy maker. The next shelf features several versions of their Game & Watch handhelds. Conspicuously absent, however, are the TV game dedicated consoles that were released only in Japan. But on the third shelf, though, you can see the Japanese Famicom, as well as some ColecoVision and Atari cartridges of Nintendo titles. Finally, at the bottom, you can see part of the original in-store display for the NES, as well as the console itself, games, and some of the first issues of Nintendo Power magazine. The second display case continues to feature the NES in its action set configuration on the top shelf. The redesign of the NES, the Power Glove accessory, as well as the Game Boy are displayed on the second shelf. On the bottom, you can see the Power Pad NES accessory, as well as more games and issues of Nintendo Power magazine. The plaque at the very bottom shows the NES logo and gives the launch year of 1985. Continuing to the right, the third case is all about the Super NES. The launch set is featured on the top shelf, and it looks like even Nintendo World couldn't find a Super NES that didn't suffer from that yellowing plastic problem. The middle of the display shows Mario Paint game and mouse controller to the left, along with the Japanese Super Famicom to the right. The bottom shelf features the redesigned Super NES along with a monitor running the demo of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. There are also more games, issues of Nintendo Power magazine, and the plaque stating 1991 as the launch year for the Super NES. This next display case I call the Failure Box. It features a lot of the pitfalls and laughable moments that Nintendo suffered throughout the years. On the top shelf, flanked by large action figures from the terrible Super Mario Bros. Movie, is the Virtual Boy box. On the next shelf is a copy of the Super Mario Bros. Movie itself, along with the Wizard and several cartoon series of Mario and The Legend of Zelda. The bottom two shelves are dedicated to the Virtual Boy hardware and games which were released in 1995. The top shelf of this display features a Nintendo 64, along with several games and controllers. The next shelf down displays variations of the Game Boy hardware, including Game Boy Pocket and Game Boy Color. On the bottom, there's a working N64 running the demo for Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask on the monitor. Among several N64 cartridges and issues of Nintendo Power magazine is the plaque that gives the N64 launch year of 1996. This case features the GameCube and Game Boy Advance. On the top shelf, we have a black GameCube attached to a Glacier Game Boy Advance via the link cable. To the right is the Game Boy Micro. The second shelf features Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which also takes advantage of the Game Boy Advance functionality. Pokemon and Donkey Konga, along with its Bongo controllers, are also there along with the Game Boy Player accessory for the GameCube. The third shelf continues with more popular GameCube titles such as Pikmin, Metroid Prime, and Super Mario Sunshine. The bottom shelf features several variations of the Game Boy Advance hardware, including the limited edition Legend of Zelda Game Boy Advance, autographed by none other than Miyamoto-san himself. The plaque at the bottom gives the GameCube launch year of 2001. The second to last case features the Wii and DS. The original white configuration of the Wii hardware is displayed on the top shelf, along with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. The next two shelves feature DS hardware and games. The bottom shelf displays several Wii accessories and a monitor running the Legend of Zelda demo. Even more issues of Nintendo Power Magazine are displayed on a Wii balance board. The plaque in front gives the Wii launch year of 2006. The final case brings us to current day, which of course is Wii U and 3DS. Since both of these are not even halfway through their respective lifespans, this display is a little sparse, but something that's interesting to note is that the large Nintendo Wii U logo on the bottom shelf is made entirely of Legos. I also like that the final Nintendo Power Magazine display features just the first issue and the last issue side by side. The launch year of 2012 for the Wii U is noted on the plaque. Although I already own almost every piece featured in these display cases, they were easily my favorite part of the visit. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about current Nintendo products, but you can get those just about anywhere. I'm more interested in Nintendo history, and it was fun to see how Nintendo's official displays compared to my own museum that I have at home. I've said before that I'm not really about merchandise, but if you are, you have to go to Nintendo World. Shirts, pajama pants, hoodies, belt buckles, wallets, caps, pins, posters, coffee mugs, plushies, backpacks, figurines, the list goes on. Not to mention they have all the popular accessories and games for whatever the current Nintendo consoles are. So, as more of a nostalgic Nintendo collector, did I buy anything at Nintendo World? Of course I did. Alright, well here's my haul from the Nintendo World store in the stylish Mario bag. Pretty simple design. Nintendo logo in the upper corner and Mario's face in the lower corner. And on the other side, it says Nintendo World, 10 Rockefeller Plaza. And then the same designs repeat on the next two sides. Pretty cool bag, and very sturdy. So I'm going to take you through what I bought, starting with the receipt. You'll see here, I only bought 9 items, but pretty hefty price tag, $187.96. I don't know if the camera's focusing on that or not. And I'm not entirely convinced that everything I bought was worth $187.96, but I thought, hey, when's the next time I'm going to get back to New York to see the Nintendo World store? So I splurged a little bit. First item I got is a black polo t-shirt with one of my most favorite characters embroidered on it. So it's pretty standard black, just with the Bob-omb embroidered on it in the corner. And the reason I like Bob-omb so much is, well, he and I share a name. I'm Bob, and he's Bob-omb. Another cool thing about this shirt is on the back, you have the Nintendo logo embroidered. Next one is just a simple white t-shirt, but it features one of my other favorite characters, which is Bowser. And I also like that this one said Nintendo World New York on it. And on the back, although it's not embroidered, it does have the Nintendo logo silk screened at the top by the collar. And the final t-shirt is a Legend of Zelda shirt. I don't have any Legend of Zelda shirts other than this one now. All my shirts are Mario and General Nintendo. But it's one with the Triforce right in the middle on a black background. And what I thought was cool about this particular one is the kanji, which I'm assuming is for the Triforce of power, courage, and wisdom. And the only character that I recognize is katakana ka right here. And I'm not sure which of the Triforce names that actually represents. Maybe someone can help me out with that. And on the back, like the other T, doesn't have the Nintendo logo silk screen, but it says Nintendo World New York, which I thought was pretty cool. So those are the 3 shirts I got. Next item. Whoa, a Nintendo Wii U gamepad. Well, no, but the blue silicone jacket on the gamepad is what I bought. And that was the first time I'd seen it. I know that you can get these elsewhere, but I thought this was the first time I saw it, so I thought I'd pick it up. They had 2 other designs, and I wasn't sure which one I'd like, So I bought them all, and I found that I like the silicone jacket the best, and I'll explain why. So the first was the silicone jacket. Second one is a silicone jacket, but it also comes in this really cool travel case, which I don't plan on taking my gamepad to many places, but I thought that the silicone case inside was pretty cool. So it opens up, and you get some pockets, 2 extra blue styluses, and then this thing, it's kind of an eraser. It's to clean off the screen. But included is a silicone jacket. It's got some blue accents on it, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's the second one. The third one, which is the one I was hoping I would like the best, gravity got the best of me there, is a clear protective case. So why don't I prefer the clear protective case and this silicone case over this silicone case? Well, this silicone case right here with this cutout in the back allows you to set it on the cradle charger. All the other ones, you won't be able to use the cradle charger because the design gets in the way. You'd have to use just the cord. So I wish I had thought of that before, but I really did want a case for the gamepad because everybody knows it's got a glossy finish, and especially the black one, it picks up fingerprints like crazy. So I'm gonna go with the blue one. And hey, maybe I'll sell these or keep them as a memory of Nintendo World Store. Got a couple other things in the bag that fell over. I wasn't aware that this existed before I went to Nintendo World Store, which is a strategy guide for Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D. Nothing special, nothing unique to the Nintendo World Store, but I didn't know that it was around, and I saw it around on the display shelf with a bunch of other strategy guides, so I thought I'd pick it up, because I do like to have the official strategy guide for all the games that have one. And the final 2 items are really small, but I thought they were cool. 2 of my favorite characters, Bowser and Donkey Kong, on a keychain. And what I'm going to use these for, not keys, is pulls in my my Nintendo loft for the lamps that I have in there. As you can see, I have them on the chain. I'm going to use them as pulls to turn the lights on and off. And so there you have it. Everything I got from my trip to the Nintendo World Store in New York. Like I said, whether it's worth what I paid, I don't know. But it was a fun trip. It was neat to see, and I am happy with what I got. So if you have a chance, definitely check out the Nintendo World Store in New York.